Before we present the farewell gift to the Braun's entire family, I'd like to share some of the special comments that people have written for a special book that's been compiled. Please note if anyone still hasn't written and would like to write in, on the wall there's an email address that you can send it to, and that will be hopefully put into the book that's been compiled for the next few days. These tributes came not only from people in Sydney, but throughout Australia and overseas. These are like highlights of some of the ones that we had, but we had probably 30, 40 ready to come in and more to come. You've had a powerful impact on the Sydney community. We'll miss you. Each week we enjoyed seeing the children davening and laying in shul, growing into such beautiful and fine young men. Rabbi Braun, the inspiration and knowledge that you have bestowed upon us all will always be remembered and treasured. Looking back over the last 8 years at Tzemach Tzedek, there have been times of great growth and excitement, such as our Tzemach program, when you brought our Bachrim from New York, and what Bachrim they were. A new standard was set in Sydney, our children saw a new world. There were also times of great pain and challenge, such as the heavy loss of our dear friends, Hillel Gottlieb and Zeba Rochel Simons, and through all of this, you carried yourself with a maturity way well beyond your years. With chachma and compassion, in Haggadah we say, V'hi she'amda, this has carried us during the long goals. Hasidim say that V'hi refers to Hasidic Verbringens. Your Verbringens, Rabbi Braun, at Tzemach Tzedek will be very, very hard to replace. Hasidim never say goodbye, we just say a pause in our Verbringen to be continued at a new time or on a new level. There is a lot to remember by you and all the entire family for over 15 years. Not only do we remember you as a bacher and then as a young teacher for the boys' high school, and we remember when you only needed a single stroller. Somewhere along the line we stopped calling you Yossi and started to call you Rabbi. You broke the Australian record for how many seatbelts you can legally put in a Toyota Hiace, not your average first family car in Australia. From your apartment to the semi before the renovations, where you packed people in for shiurim, for Brengens and Simchas, the walls just kept expanding, and to your renovated home. Your home was always open for shiurim and counseling. It seemed to us that it was never seemed to bother Hoodie for your patience and allowed you to flourish. We also knew you were available after hours. Each one of your children provided dugma chaya of a from child. Thanks to Hoodie and your upbringing, Hoodie has always provided one as not just as a Rebbetzin, but an A and B Yisrael with a patience and caring. We respected your learning, leadership and authority even when it didn't suit us. We will miss your physical presence of all your family here in Sydney, and I'm sure we won't be able to forget you. Somehow, each time we'll open up on the Bachrim's website there, we'll be sure to catch up with you somehow. And we wait for Mashiach to reunite you. Just a few more. It's hard to believe we're sitting here typing a letter for your farewell booklet. It is impossible to imagine what it'll be like after you leave. Words are not enough to say thank you for the enormous hashpah you've had on our family. You've exposed our children to the light of Torah and Chassidus. We are grateful for the dugma chayes that your children have been for our children. Over the past 7.5 years, Tzemach Tzedek has been part of our daily existence. We thank you for being the captain of Tzemach Tzedek ship, ensuring that halacha and ethics were never compromised. Dear Rabbi Braun and family, thank you for everything. You have succeeded in your shlichus here in Sydney. You raised the bar and created a higher standard in Yiddishkeit and Chassidishkeit. You formed an elite unit of Chassidim. When I heard the news of your departure, I was saddened for Sydney and specifically your Kehillat Tzemach Tzedek, as you and your wife give tremendously above and beyond in areas of kindness and learning. As Yaakov's departure from Beersheba, there will be a certain chasm left behind as you head to New York to continue your work there. Your outreach on both a personal level from Shabbos Mills and Shura, not to mention the warmth and friendliness exuded by your family, whom I hold dear, is a true inspiration of how a Jewish family should live. I'd like to be with you all and hope you and wish you all to be very successful with the years to come. You've made a huge impression on our family. There are many things that we've taken upon ourselves over the years because Rabbi Braun said, you set an incredibly high and refreshing tone for Yiddish and Chassidishkeit. It is a reminder every day when we see someone from your family how it's really meant to be. You are truly special people and you'll always be special no matter where you are. Every town must have a lamplighter to be a guide of inspiration for young and old. It is without a doubt that the Braun family have been the lamplighters of Sydney since their first arrival until the very last day of their stay. To reflect on Rabbi Braun's job description throughout his time in Sydney, it would include a rabbi, mashpia, a rav, a scholar, counselor, advisor, teacher, head of Jewish studies, Board of Studies exam writer in Malka, curriculum writer, educator, role model, Tzemach director, town planner, Maggid Shir, orator, community leader, negotiator, mediator, Smicha director, a library director, and of course a friend. Two more. Hudi, I've always been inspired watching you and your Kinderlach. You've always been so calm, so graceful, and so confident. Knowing what is right and how to do it seems to come from your very nature. Please know that it's been a real chizuk to me to know you and to observe you over the last few years. And the one that sort of touched me probably the most over the last few days, I'm not sure if the person is here, but I did get permission from him to say it.
Difference in stature of presidency. Okay, so the presentation to Rabbi Braun, as I understand it, is make sure that I have that right. Yeah, with the following inscription, which we've organised in such a way that you've got enough to shlem as it is. So we've organised it that it will be available for you there. And the inscription reads as follows: to Rabbi Braun, in appreciation for your leadership, dedication, and true living examples to the Tzemach Tzedek and wider community during 5763 to 5771 from the Tzemach Tzedek Community Centre and all your friends throughout Sydney.
Rabbi Braun, finally we'll give you a chance to reflect, address the community on behalf of your family. I know it's been 15 and a half years, but please summarize it, condense it. Please, everyone give the respect to Rabbi Braun.
Bershus Marona v'Rabbanan v'Rabboisai Kol HaKadosh Hazeh is much more difficult for me. Rabbi Spielman asked me to condense the 15 years plus change of our family, or close to 20 years of myself, and to try to do it within a short time. So I'll try to do it within an hour or two. It is really extremely difficult, and there's a lot of memories in our minds, and what I say tonight won't do justice to it. But I'll share just a couple of pointers, and if I miss something out, I'm sure Hashem will forgive me. A tremendous value in Torah is the concept of Hakaras HaTov, of showing appreciation. If we stand here tonight and show appreciation for all those people that have helped us, as the expression, the Torah expression goes, Yichla Hazman V'hem Lo Yichlu, time will finish and our appreciations won't finish. We came here some 15 years ago, and it was a very difficult thing for us. To come, to leave our family, we both had our family in New York, and to come here without family, come to a far place, where kangaroos are the ones that walk through the shuls. And that's serious. It really was something very, very difficult for us. There was a lot of challenges in the beginning, and there are many people that tried to do the same thing and they left. And we're doing the same. And yet, as difficult as it was then, and particularly for my wife, I should say, in a sense, it's more difficult for us now to move back. Because this time, our family has grown, and we see a lot of our family here in the room, and we're leaving all those people behind. And it is truly to them that we owe a tremendous hakaras hatov and gratitude for really being our family away from family. I know it's a cliche, but it's really true. So I'll just mention several people who represent the wider community. First and foremost, the people that brought us down to Sydney originally. In the first instance, Rabbi Feldman and his Rebbitzin who brought us down here with the able help of Rabbi Garari. With the Garari family was always a constant support to our family. From day one, I can't say until the last day, but almost until the last day. The school, afterwards under the leadership of Mayor, Rabbi Spielman as principal, who later was a support for us over here at the shul. Rabbi Spielman and I go back a very, very long time. We landed in Sydney the same time, close to 20 years ago. We're leaving Sydney different times, but Rabbi Spielman, together with the staff of teachers at Kesed Torah, and at this stage I want to mention all the teachers and manalim and mechanchim of our children over all the years that put in a lot of effort to our children. They're the people that we really value most. They're the people that really made a difference to our family. My fellow chaverim, rabbanim, and shluchim, some who are here tonight. The board of Tzemach Tzedek, the Vad of Kilas Tzemach Tzedek over all the years, who currently consists of Gershon, Shimon, and Avremi, who've put in a lot of hours on top of hours, and I know what this means to be involved in communal work. I have a bit of understanding of what that means. Behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, they really stuck out to our family. Somebody who's definitely not a member of the board, by any stretch of the imagination. He's not the president of Tzemach Tzedek. I don't even know why he's involved in every function in Tzemach Tzedek. And I'm referring to the Amslak family. Really, words can't do justice. I'm going to just leave it at that. There are people who put their hands into their pockets and left it there. People put their hands in the pockets and stretched out for our family, helped us financially, physically, emotionally, spiritually. Most of these people don't want to be named. Some people, I've forgotten their names. People who hosted us, I still remember Mrs. Tootle Sr., who hosted us right when we came here in Sydney. I want to take this opportunity to wish you Arichas Yom B'Shalom Tevis, Nasach Nachas, and everybody else in the community who decided to become our babysitters, our cleaners, our chefs, our grandparents, our uncles and aunts, our taxi drivers, our schleppers, and a lot of advisors. It is indeed very, very difficult just to say Yasher Koach. I can only say those two words, thank you, because we can't really say more. Rabbi Garari mentioned earlier the expression Koshe Alai Preidaschem. Someone once said, we talk about goodbyes, we all hate goodbyes. Where's the good in the goodbye? When you love someone and you become close to someone, and there's a period of time where you're absent from such a person, it's really a subtle form of Hepech HaChaim, of opposite of life. And going from a situation of life, of verve, vitality, and to entering a stage of dullness and lifelessness where we leave all these people behind, how do you ease the changeover between the situation of till now and the situation which is from now onwards? How do we arrange that that which is distant should become near? We make a farewell party. So does a farewell party help reduce, shrink the size of the globe and reduce the many kilometers that separate between us. So Chazal tell us